ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। जय गुरुदेव। Is anybody able to chant the Bhagavad Gita? Dr. Savita, are you able to do that?
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ दशमोऽध्यायः विभूतियोगः। अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वसामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षय कालो धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः मृत्युः सर्वहरश्चाहम् उद्भवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्ति श्रीवाक्यनारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृति क्षमा। बृहत्सां तथा साम्नां गायत्री छन्दसामहं मासानां मार्गशीर्षोऽहं ऋतूनां कुसुमाकरः द्यूतं चलयतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहं जयोऽस्मि व्यवसायोऽस्मि सत्वं सत्त्ववतामहं वृष्णीनां वासुदेवोऽस्मि पाण्डवानां धनञ्जयः मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः कवीनामुशना कविः दण्डो दमयताम् अस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहं यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यत्स्यान् मया भूतं चराचरम् नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप एष तुद्देशतः प्रोक्तो विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया यद्यद् विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तद्देवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंशसम्भवम् अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत। ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे विभूतियोगो नाम दशमोऽध्यायः। ॐ तत्सत्। अथ एकादशोऽध्यायः विश्वरूपसन्दर्शनयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमं गुह्यम् अध्यात्मसञ्जितं यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम। Hari Om. I will start Brahmaraji from which shloka?
I think yesterday we started from 37 or 38.
Okay. Starting. दण्डो दमयतामस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चेत् Maulam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanavatамaham. Damayatam, of people who enforce discipline. Dandah asmi, I am the discipline. Jigishatam, of those who want victory, success. Nitihi asmi, I am justice. Maunam cha eva asmi, and I am silence. Guhyanam, among the secrets. Jnanavatam, of those who have knowledge. Aham jnanam, I am that knowledge. Damayatam dandah asmi, jigishatam nitihi asmi, maunam cha eva asmi, guhyanam jnanavatam, aham jnanam. I am the discipline of those who enforce discipline. I am justice of those who want success. And I am silence among the secrets of those who have knowledge. I am that knowledge. Damayatam, of those who enforce discipline, giving punishment to those who transgress. I am the discipline. If you have self-discipline, Bhagavan says, I am that very discipline. If you lack self-discipline, it has to be imposed. That one who enforces discipline, I am. Jigishatam, of those who are desirous of victory and are working for it. I am the niti, the order. When you achieve victory, it must come within the framework of justice. Otherwise, it cannot be considered a victory. Success won at the cost of justice is not meaningful for a mature person, because for him, the means is as important as the end. For a morally guarded person, only the end is important. Justice is not only very important in a victory, it is essential. Before Bhagavan said, in the victorious, I am victory. Here he says, where there is success, I am the justice, the order which brings success. Among the secrets, I am Mauna, silence. Among all the devices employed to maintain secrecy, silence is the best. Any secret that you divulge will eventually come back to you and in another form. Silence is the only sure way of keeping a secret. So it is the best form of secrecy. Kindly keep this paragraph in mind. It is not very clear to me. We can have a discussion. Among the secrets, I am Mauna, silence. I am repeating, among all the devices employed to maintain secrecy, silence is the best. Any secret that you divulge will eventually come back to you and in another form. Silence is the only sure way of keeping a secret. So it is the best form of secrecy. Of those who have self-knowledge, I am the Swarupa, the knowledge itself. Knowledge and Ishvara are not two different things, and I am the very form of that knowledge. Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna na tadasti vinayatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Yat cha api bijam, and also that which is the cause, sarva bhutana, of all beings or things, tat aham, that I am. Arjuna, na tat asti, there is not. Bhutam char acharam, any mobile or immobile, sentient or insentient thing. Yatas syat, which can exist maya vina, without me. Yat cha api bijam sarvabhutanam tat aham Arjuna na tat asti bhutam chara acharam yat syat maya vina. And Arjuna, I am also that which is the cause of all things. There is no mobile or immobile, sentient or insentient thing which can exist without me. Bija literally means seed, but is often used in the sense of cause. I repeat, there is a breaking of voice. Bija literally means seed, but is often used in the sense of cause. Since a seed is the cause for the tree, by implication, it is used for cause in general. There are many causes and effects. Bhutanam Madhye, among the various causes, I am the cause of all beings or of all things. Bhutas can be taken as the elements Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, or as beings. That which is the seed of all these is, in other words, Jagat Karana. Among all the causes, each is a cause only from the standpoint of its effect. From another standpoint, that cause itself becomes an effect for some other cause. So, what is the real cause? Bija? It should be an uncaused cause. Prakriti can be said to be Sarva Bhutanam Bijam because it has no cause. But because Prakriti has no existence independent of Atma, Ishvara is the ultimate cause of everything. Therefore, he says, Sarva Bhutanam Bijam Prakritihi Aham Asmi. I am the material cause for everything. Now, to sum up the topic of Bhagavat Vibhuti, the glory of Bhagavan, he says, without me, there would not be any Bhuta, neither Chara, those that move, nor Achara, those that do not move at all. Na tat asti bhutam characharam yat syat maya vina. The whole creation is made up of what moves and what does not. This is one way of looking at it. In another way, sentient is chara and insentient achara. If achara means merely immobile, it will include a sentient tree also. Whichever way it is taken, without me, there are no such things that could exist. That means if I'm not there, there is no object at all. If Parmeshwara is Sat, the efficient and material cause, which object is away from that material cause? Without me, the Sat, if there is an object, it will be Niratmaka or Shunya. It will have no existence at all. Wherever there is an existent object, that object is non-separate from the Karana, which is existence. Every product entirely depends on the cause, and the final cause is Ishvara. Bhagwan has gone on listing his glories, and now comes to the point where he has to say that he cannot continue because the list is endless. Nantoste mamadiganam vibhutinam parantapa keshatudeshatah prokto vibhutirvistaro maya. Parantapa, O scorcher of enemies, Arjuna, Mama Divyanam Vibhutinam, to my extraordinary glories, na antah asti. There is no end to, but Eshah Vibhutehe Vistaraha, this detailed narration of my glories, Maya, by me, Uddeshataha, taking into account a few important ones, Proktaha was told. Parantapa Mama Divyanam Vibhutinam na antah asti. Tu Eshah Vibhutehe Vistaraha Maya Uddeshataha Proktaha. There is no end to my extraordinary glories, Arjuna, but this detailed narration was told by me, taking into account a few important ones. Krishna addressed Arjuna here as Parantapa, the one who is always victorious against the opponents. O Arjuna, the glories not easily seen in the world, the vibhutis, which are divyas, my brilliant manifestations, have no end. Mama divyanam vibhutinam na antah asti. Since there is no end to them at all, I have to end it. Therefore, I am ending it here. What has been related here is a brief account of the vast extent of my glories. The full particulars can never be given because the list is endless. I could only tell a few things. If that is so, why did he start? Because the intention was to make one understand Bhagavad Vibhuti, not to complete the list of vibhutis. I want you to understand that wherever there is any brilliance, that indeed is mine. I repeat, there is a breaking of voice. I want you to understand that wherever there is any brilliance, that indeed is mine. If you ask me why I said this, it is purely to establish this general rule which is told in the next verse. And any glory belongs to Bhagavan. Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam Srimaddurjitameva va Tattat devavagachatvam Mama tejomsha sambhavam. Yat whatever vibhuti mata sattvam, existent thing that has glory, shrimat, that which has any form of wealth, value, urjitam eva va, that which is indeed distinguished, mighty, tat eva, every one of that, mama tejonsha sambhavam, born of a fraction of my glory, avagachatvam, may you know. Yatyat vibhutimat sattvam Srimat urjitam eva va tattat eva mama tejonsha sambhavam avagachatvam. Whatever existent thing there is which has glory, which is endowed with any form of wealth, or that which is distinguished or mighty, every one of that, may you know, is born of a fraction of my glory. Any existent thing in this world that has some glory, whether in terms of knowledge, power, beauty, some brilliance, skill, or any fame, that Bhagavan says is Shrimad. Shri can be attraction or beauty, Kanti. It can also be justice, niti, or fame, kirti, wealth, dhana, food, dhanya, children, santan, domestic happiness, griha, any sense of well-being, saubhagya, a boon, vara, or knowledge, vidya. These are the different forms of Lakshmi known as Shri. Shrimad is that which has Shri. It covers everything. In fact, all glories are covered by the Shrimad. That Shrimad is Bhagavan. Anything powerful, distinguished, and arresting is Urjitam. Avagacha, may you understand that each one of them, tat tad eva, arises from only a part of my Tejas. Tejas here means splendor, the Bhaga in Bhagavan. As it was said in the introduction, Bhagavan is sixfold belonging to Ishvara, as we have seen before. Shri, absolute wealth, Aishwarya, absolute overlordship, Yashas, absolute fame, Vairagya, absolute dispassion, Jnana, infinite knowledge, and Virya, absolute power, the power of creation, destruction, and sustenance. I repeat once again the last line. Bhagavan is sixfold, belonging to the Ishvara, as we have seen before. Shri, absolute wealth, Aishwarya, absolute overlordship, Yashas, absolute fame, Vairagya, absolute dispassion, Jnana, infinite knowledge, and Virya, absolute power, the power of creation, destruction, and sustenance. All glories are born of this sixfold sovereignty, Aishwarya, which attempts to classify the infinite affluence of Ishvara, briefly called Bhaga. The creation of all these glories is from only a fraction of my Tejas. Not Tejas directly, but from only Tejomsha, a fraction of the infinite glory of Bhagavan. Only a part of that Ishvara is manifest in all these glories. In fact, the Jagat is nothing but an Amsha, a part of Ishvara. Even though the Lord is partless, because of Maya, it appears manifold, like partless space seems to be divided into pot space, room space, etc. And these are called part of the total space. I repeat the last line. Even though the Lord is partless, because of Maya, it appears manifold, like partless space seems to be divided into pot space, room space, etc. And these are called part of the total space. The idea is that everything here is only projected by Maya, Mayaya Kalpitam, Arjuna. Please understand, each one is born of only a fraction of my glory. There is no exception to this. Are things that do not have glory not Ishvara? Now there is one problem when we say that anything that has any glory whatsoever is born of a fraction of Bhagavan's glory, meaning it is only one manifestation of Bhagavan, the total power of Ishvara. Then what about all other things? There are countless people who were born and gone, whose names are not remembered at all. except by the bereaved, Shamatam, if I'm wrong in my pronunciation. There are countless people who were born and gone, whose names are not remembered at all, except by the bereaved. There are millions of people in different generations, and a lot of things in the world, animals, and so on, whose names are not known to anybody, which are not recognized as having some special excellence. Do you say they are not born of your Tejas, your Bhaga? This we must understand well. These glories, which are a fraction of the sixfold absolute virtues, knowledge, wealth, supremacy, power, fame, and dispassion, are mentioned only for meditation on Ishvara in this particular forms as Aditya, etc. That is one meaning. I repeat, there is a breaking of voice. This we must understand well. These glories, which are a fraction of these sixfold absolute virtues, knowledge, wealth, supremacy, power, fame, and dispassion, are mentioned only for meditation on Ishvara in these particular forms as Aditya, etc. That is one meaning. Another is this. These verses are meant to establish a general rule that wherever there is vibhuti, it is Ishvara's vibhuti. No one particular person has gained anything which he can legitimately claim as his own. Once it is Ishvara's vibhuti, no person can become an object of your jealousy, because jealousy is possible only when he has achieved it and you have not. Now, if you look upon everything as Ishvara's glory, you will find that glory in many forms. Every blade of grass is Ishvara's glory. The sun, moon, and stars are all Ishvara's glory. And if anybody is able to sing or dance or whatever, it is all Bhagwan's vibhuti. In one place, an aspect of it manifests more, and in another less. But it does not make any difference at all. It is all Ishvara's glory. And if I recognize his glory, I become Bhagwan's vibhuti. I repeat, very beautiful line, please pay attention. And if I recognize his glory, I become Bhagwan's vibhuti. Even the capacity to appreciate beauty is a glory of Ishvara. Many wonderful manifestations of Ishvara go unrecognized for want of people's capacity to appreciate. Unless you have that perceptive ability, you are not going to see something glorious. So many great men go unrecognized, and many a good books goes unread just because the author is not known. There are countless such things that are never recognized. Although some singers become popular, for every one of them, there are many more who are equally good or better, but never become known. I know one person at least who is so accomplished in playing the veena that she would have excelled over anybody, but she is not known. Only those in her home and those who are closely connected to her have the privilege of hearing her music. There are a number of people like this. Thus, wherever there is a manifestation of glory, It is Ishvara's glory. Sometimes it is known, sometimes not. This is so very true. Like in Thomas Alva Edison and Tesla, both had Tesla was the one who first recognized, but he remained unnoticed for so long. You can be jealous only if you can appreciate a glory. To discover the glory of a person, you require a certain capacity to appreciate. If you are able to become jealous of someone, it is only because you are able to perceive the glory of that person. Otherwise, how are you going to become jealous? That capacity to see is your glory. Repeat, there is a breaking of voice. Otherwise, how are you going to become jealous? That capacity to see is your glory. Where is a musician if there is no rasika, connoisseur? Someone who enjoys that music is necessary. When you know that all glory belongs to Ishvara, you can no longer be jealous. You can be jealous of an individual, but not Ishvara, because jealousy is only possible between similars, not dissimilars. You cannot be jealous of Ishvara any more than you can be jealous of an eagle because it soars so high. You may wish to fly like an eagle, that is possible, but you can never be jealous of the eagle because it is unlike you. Similarly, Ishvara does not belong to the human species. So, where is the question of your being jealous of Ishvara? This rule helps eliminate your jealousies, the friction in your personal relationships. Vibhuti Yoga is a very beautiful chapter to help you discover this attitude. If there is a person who is free from jealousy, that person is a saint, I tell you, because jealousy can appear in 100 different subtle forms. Even among sadhus, I see it. They are jealous of one another's popularity. In fact, I find the more popular you are, the more likelihood of your knowing less or knowing wrongly. I repeat, in fact, I find the more popular you are, the more likelihood of your knowing less or knowing wrongly. It is difficult to be popular if you know profound things, because when you talk, it is going to be profound and that is not going to be popular. To be popular, you have to tell some stories, some jokes, and use some catchy expressions, even though they do not mean anything. You can be a gorilla and be popular. In Milwaukee, there was a popular poll, and the winner was Samson, the gorilla in the local zoo. Sitting there quietly, he became popular. So, popularity is meaningless. I just want to bring to your notice here the one thing, very beautiful line Swamiji has made. I think it has given answer to my that mauna, the silence. It is difficult to be popular if you know profound things, because when you talk, it is going to be profound and that is not going to be popular. This chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, you must read again and again. Wherever there is any brilliance, any skill, you should be able to appreciate it as Ishvara's glory. Any intelligent person should be able to do that. It does not require great knowledge to see that these capacities that we have are all given to us. Nothing is really created by anybody. Simple observation of your own life, of your own powers, will reveal that everything is given to you. The whole world is given. What is it that is created by you? If you have a power to create, to bring things together, that is also given. What is created by us is nothing. The more you see this, the more objective you will find your ego. And an objective ego is as good as non-existent, even if it is not enlightened. So beautiful. That is the devotee's ego, which is good enough to discover Atma. It becomes pure and can therefore discover good Atma. I think that is why Raman Maharshi kept silence. He did not speak much. Even if such an appreciation of Ishvara's glories is incomplete in the beginning, afterwards it becomes real. If you keep bringing it to mind, even though you do not see it, it becomes real because it is a fact, not superimposition. Even if you do not understand totally at first, later it becomes more and more clear. Though the profundity not be very clear, that forced appreciation is good enough. As friendship or love, suppose you are not able to discover love. If you can force yourself to say something nice, you will find yourself beginning to discover love. I repeat, there is a breaking of voice. As in friendship or love, suppose you are not able to discover love. If you can enforce yourself to say something nice, you will find yourself beginning to discover love. Any act of love will make you discover love. Similarly, here, even though it is incomplete at first, it becomes real. Nothing can stop it because it has its basis in truth. So, as a devotee, you cannot be jealous of Ishvara. And if you understand Ishvara, it is all you. If you step out and see the whole Jagat as Ishvara, then you are that Ishvara because there is no Ishvara other than Sat Chit Ananda Atma. Therefore, it is all your glory alone. What about those things that are not recognized as glories? In answer to this, Bhagavan says, in fact, the entire Jagat is nothing but my glory and is still only 1/4 of my total glory. Padosya Vishwa Vibhutani. Kshamyatam. Padosya Vishwa Vishwa Bhutani. 3/4 is lost in your heart as Param Brahma. Pada Syamritam Divi. Tripada, 1/3. Once again, I say Padosya Vishwa Bhutani.
Tripada is 3/4.
3/4.
Pada is 1/4.
1/4.
Yeah. Tripadasyamritam divi.
Tripadasyamritam divi. 3/4.
Yeah. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani.
1/4 is Vishwa Bhutan. 3/4
It's the Vibhuti. Yeah.
In the Chaitanya Atma, 3/4 is gone. All 14 worlds, 7 above and 7 below, are only 1/4. This is just an expression to say that the entire Jagat does not account for the infinite. Such a statement, very beautiful. This is just an expression to say that the entire Jagat does not account for the infinite. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत. अथवा, on the other hand, bahuna etena gnatena, by the knowledge of manifold things. Kim tava Arjuna, what is accomplished for you, Arjuna? Vishtabhya, pervading, idam krutsnam jagata, this entire world, ekam shena, with just one part of me, aham sthitaha, I remain. Athva bahuna etena gnatena kim tavarjuna vishtabhya idam krutsnam jagata ekam shena aham sthitaha. On the other hand, by this knowledge of manifold things, what is accomplished for you, Arjuna? I remain pervading this entire world, one part of myself. Athava means, or let us put it this way. I said everything that has vibhuti is born of a fraction of my glory, Teomsha Sambham. From that, you may conclude that only those things that have vibhuti are born of me and others are not. So, athva means, to put it correctly, by this knowledge of manifold things, I repeat as there is a breaking of voice. By this knowledge of manifold things, various things, bahuna etena gnatena, like among the trees, I am the sacred ficus. Among the rivers, I am the Ganga. What is accomplished for you, Arjuna? Kim tava Arjuna? Not much is accomplished because my vibhuti is endless. It is therefore not possible for me to complete this list. Shankara says it is a knowledge which leaves a lot to be desired. Savasheshena gnatena. Savasheshena gnatena. Since it is an incomplete knowledge of Ishvara's glory, what is accomplished? In fact, what Bhagavan wants to say is that you must understand just this one thing, that everything is Bhagavan. Bhagavan says, all of this is only a part of me. In fact, I remain pervading this entire world by only one part of myself. Aham idam kritsnam jagata ekam shena vishtabhya sthitaha. I make it firm in the form of all these beings. I remain aham sthitaha. Otherwise, how would all this exist? It is only mithya requiring me, the upadana karana, to give reality to it. From your own standpoint, if you just look at this world, it is nothing more than the contents of your antahkarana. So what you know, what you see, is only a limited jagat, whether subtle, sukshma, prapancha, or physical, sthula prapancha. Whatever you see is only one part, amsha of yourself. 3/4 is lost in your buddhi. That is the truth of yourself, the limitless, the infinite. It is not literally 3/4, but an expression to indicate that this makes it complete. The 3/4 is that without which this 1/4, the Jagat, is incomplete. Because this Jagat is non-separate from Brahman, it is said to be 1/4 of that whole. Shankara quotes the mantra that expresses this Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. His 1/4 is all this. All eyes are his eyes, etc. But still, 3/4 is beyond time and space. Tripadasyamritam divi. Tripadasyamritam divi. The source is lost in the sense that it is not available for your perception. Therefore, what you see is very little, Arjuna. What is really to be seen is the 3/4, that is infinite. If you see that 3/4, which makes it complete, you will find everything is infinite. Param Brahma. There is no part at all. Brahman is Niramsha, not subject to division. This apparent division is created for understanding. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayah. Om Tat Sat. Thus ends the 10th chapter that is called Vibhuti Yoga, which has as its topic the Vibhutis of Bhagavan in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is likened to the Upanishads, whose subject matter is Brahma Vidya, which is also a Yoga Sutra, which is in the form of a dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna. Om Tat Sat. So I just read the shlokas and then we will have the mantra. I think I started from the 39th verse. 38. Dando damayatamasmi nitirasmi jigishatam maunam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanavatamaham. I am the discipline of those who enforce discipline. I am justice of those who want success, and I am silence among the secrets. Of those who have knowledge, I am that knowledge. Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna na tadasti vinayatsyan maya bhutam characharam. And Arjuna, I am also that which is the cause of all things. There is no mobile or immobile, sentient or insentient thing which can exist without me. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tuddeshatah prokto vibhuter vistaro maya. There is no end to my extraordinary glories, Arjuna, but this detailed narration was told by me, taking into account a few important ones. Yadyad vibhutimat श्रीमदुर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंश संभवम्. Whatever existent thing there is, which has glory, which is endowed with any form of wealth, or that which is distinguished or mighty, every one of that, may you know, is born of a fraction of my glory. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्. On the other hand, by this knowledge of manifold things, what is accomplished for you, Arjuna? I remain pervading this entire world with one part of myself. So with that, we just close our eyes and then we share our takeaways. Hari Om, Jai Gurudev. Kindly share your takeaways. For me, the takeaway is that he is the Niti. Wherever there is Niti, he is there. And for success, the process and the end result both are important. Bhagavan was in Pandava's Paksha because there was Niti, there was Dharma. And another thing about the silence, wherever there is profound understanding, there is silence, and you can receive beautiful results. And there are many more things. Kindly share. Everyone can have their own takeaways.
Jai Gurudev. This silence, what came to my mind was that if you like someone confides in you and he speaks to you about himself or herself, so and he's like he you respect that person and you do not want to speak about him to anyone else also, but even if someone asks you, you respect that and you be in silence. That is also a way to like not getting into not converting your karma into a bad karma. You just listen and you just be quiet. You don't have to convey further to anyone. This thought came to my mind while reading this again today. And one thing more, like just a morning experience, as I was running in the morning, a leaf fell down from a tree. So I just had a thought that this leaf, while it was on the tree, it was giving you oxygen, that carbon dioxide oxygen, that change take place. It was providing you oxygen when it was on the tree. Now it has fell down, so now it will become a, like, it will become a fertilizer, or like a humus. So it is like while living also, and while it has had an end. Both ways it is serving the nature. That thought came to my mind while in the morning while I was running. Just wanted to share this. Yeah. Thank you.
So beautiful sharing, Savita ji. Different perspective and angle. Thank you so much.
It is about this Tripadasya Mritam Divi and Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. So what we see as the manifest world with our eyes open is only a fraction of, is only 1/4. Gurudev has always been saying the dark energy is much more. What we see is just a small fraction. And he says, Tripadasya Divi, that is there in the Buddhi. So when we meditate, you're actually probably experiencing that the unmanifest. So again, which re-emphasizes the importance of meditation. Because everything else that we see, we do, is all related to the manifest world. And to think of all of this, for all of Bhagwan's vibhutis, are nothing but your own vibhutis. Not with the sense of an ego there, it is with the sense of oneness with Bhagwan. That all this is actually, there is only one. There are no two. Only a bhakta requires vibhuti to know about the vibhutis. There is a jnani who is enlightened. There is no need for him to know vibhutis because he's already one with the Parabrahma. So there is no need for him to know. He knows it. There is a bhakta who is still on the path, who requires some object of meditation, object on which to meditate, on which aspect of this Tat-Chit Ananda that he has to meditate, he requires, which is why Arjuna asked at the very beginning. So that is one reason why we need vibhutis. The second reason for a seeker not to get caught up in jealousy. Jealousy can show up in several, how many subtle forms it can show up. You can be jealous of only a similar category. You cannot be jealous of, say, birds or plants or trees. You can be only jealous of another human being, which is another beautiful, profound takeaway from here. So when that is there, when that is the case in question, how not to be jealous of people around you is to understand that the glory of everybody, any excellence that you might be jealous of in that you notice in another person, is nothing but Ishvara's vibhuti. And that Ishvara you are. So automatically it is like you're developing that belongingness. It is your vibhuti. You would not be jealous. The left hand will not be jealous of the right hand because it is serving. Because you feel one whole, one part. It is part of you. It is you. So similarly, when you look at everybody else around you with this attitude, then there is no question of any jealousy.
Jai Gurudev, and also the capacity to appreciate, it removes the jealousy. That you see that everything is God's vibhuti. Jai Guru.
Capacity to appreciate the glory of Ishvara, like many people, they are not recognized the capacity, their like whatever abilities they have that are not recognized, and they have gone like unnoticed in one form. So it is that the perceptive ability of a person is also essential to perceive the glorious part of anyone. So it is again like that awareness, which the depth of awareness which one has, that would help the person to perceive more and recognize the person's quality. Because if a person every person have good and bad, but we only notice the bad part, we do not see the good part of that person. So it is that the awareness which we should develop to like perceive the overall the character of a person also. And it is like that's why many people, good people, they go unrecognized. People do not recognize, and maybe they are recognized in the latter half of their lives, when almost whole of their life is spent, and the knowledge one could have received from those people is not gained. So it is basically the loss of the society only, I think.
Maybe, but that is how it is. We don't know why, what reason, why some people become popular, some are not popular. So maybe it is all an intermix. It's a complex interaction of their prarabdha, isn't it? So not everybody, there are so many, like you look at these Indian idols and all of them, how much of talent is being unearthed? Where was all that talent several years ago, 2-3 decades ago, when it was not in vogue? So what happened to that? Now they're slowly unearthing it. So similarly, we know people who doing a lot of good are not they still are held. They're not given their due credit, but probably that is what it is. Sometimes
it must be the play of the stars, I think. Na? You have some prarabdha karma,
correct.
Maybe that reason. Yeah.
Ultimately, this whole Leela is his. He is like having a nice time, I think. Ishvara, if you consider him watching a soap opera, the whole world, all that happens, all the drama, the highs and the lows, it is a never-ending soap opera for him. No TV serial can match the immense profundity of emotions, of feelings, and whatever happens in the world will be huge for him.
What was that ego part we were reading? Which verse was that?
That was the devotee's ego. It is an objective ego. I think that is what it was. Say,
I think last.
when you recognize the person's achievement, it's not his or hers, or not your achievement. It is nothing but vibhuti. Then you have that the objective ego, which is a devotee's ego. Devotee considers everything as his lila, as his vibhuti.
Yeah, this we read in chapter 6 also, no? Where chapter 6 or chapter, I don't remember, maybe 9. It was there initially, it was touched upon this ahankara, no? Basically the I think chapter 6 it was.
So today, if there's anybody else who wants to share, please go ahead. If not, then we'll go to chapter 6 and complete that. The last verse. Yeah, we just have a little bit left. So, in the previous verse, what does he say? Therefore, become a yogi. It says, Tasmat yogi bhavajana. Tapas vidhyodhiko yogi. Jnanibhyopi matodhikaha. Karmibhyaschadhiko yogi. Tasmat yogi bhavajuna. A yogi is considered superior to those who live a life of meditation, superior even to the scholars, and superior to those who perform action. Therefore, O Arjuna, be a yogi. So here, I'm going to read this shloka and then go to the last one. Here, Adhika means Utkrishta, the best, the most exalted, in terms of what a person has to be. Krishna has already defined the most exalted person as a yogi. A definition that he repeats in the next verse, as we shall see. In the present verse, this yogi is described as one who is superior to all the tapasvis and karmis, are mumukshus. Both types of people, are in the present verse, this yogi is described as one who is superior to all the tapasvis, those who perform various kinds of meditation, and to all the karmis, meaning those who perform the enjoined Vaidika rituals. Both types of people, tapasvis and karmis, are mumukshus and are in no way being condemned here. In fact, they are people who engage in their respective activities for the sole purpose of becoming the yogi who is the most exalted of them all, the one who either pursues dhyana yoga, contemplation on Atma as Brahman, or who has already accomplished. Having gained this knowledge, such a yogi is definitely superior to these two types of people said here. So basically what Swamiji is saying, Bhagwan is saying is, both Aruruksha and Yoga Ruda. So both they come under the category of the yogi that Krishna is goading Arjuna to become. Scholarship alone does not give one the vision. The tapasvi is not one who has to find a particular end. Rather, the very tapas has to resolve into this yogi alone. Thus, it can be said that the yogi is superior to the tapasvi, tapasvibhyadiko yogi. In the same way, the yogi is superior to the scholars. Jnanibhyah adhikaha yogi. Here the word jnani refers to the one who knows the Veda. See, that is why we need to read the Bhagavad Gita and understand the verse in the context that was given. So we cannot say Jnanidhyaha Adhika Yogi. Oh, Krishna is saying yogi is greater than a jnani. Here, jnani refers to the one who knows the Veda. They can recite it and they may even know the meaning of the words. However, one does not gain the knowledge, the vision of the Veda by mere scholarship alone. There has to be a commitment to this knowledge and its pursuit for there to be any possibility of gaining the vision of sameness in all beings. Since this verse is about a yogi who already has the knowledge, scholarship that is talked about here must necessarily exclude Vedanta. So it's so important how we interpret the verse. No? And for that, we require certain amount of clarity and understanding. The buddhi has to be like Krishna's buddhi. Therefore, jnani has to be taken as someone other than the yogi under discussion. Shankara clarifies this point in his commentary to this verse by referring to jnanis as those who have scholarship, panditya, with reference to the meaning of the Veda, shastrartha, specifically the first portion of the Veda, the Purva Mimamsa Shastra. We can also include the Vedanta Shastra here, since scholars can know the meaning of the words without understanding that it is the meaning of themselves. However, Vedanta Shastra would usually not be included here because the verse itself is Vedanta Shastra. These scholars then are those who have scholarship in all the other Shastra but the Vedanta Shastra, and their scholarship has to pay off in the form of this yoga, a yoga characterized by clear vision of the Vastu, the truth of everything. Already having this vision, the yogi is said to be superior to the scholars, Jnanidhyaha Adhika Yogi. Therefore, be a yogi. The yogi who is understood to be superior to the scholars and to the tapasvis is also thought to be superior to those who perform rituals, the karmis. Karmibhyaha cha adhikaha yogi. Therefore, what does Krishna tell Arjuna to become? Be a yogi, Arjuna. Tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. Krishna says here, having been given this advice, what was Arjuna to do? Based on everything Krishna has just said, this yogi is a sannyasi, one who gives up everything and sits in meditation. Does this not mean that Arjuna has to do the same? Originally, Krishna had asked Arjuna to get up and fight, explaining that karma was better for him than sannyasi. Whereas now Krishna is telling him to become a yogi, a sannyasi. What does Krishna mean by all of this? Again, then Arjuna was confused. First a karma yogi, then a yogi. The point Krishna is making here is that first, one lives a life of karma yoga in order to gain a mind that is prepared for the knowledge. Then one becomes a yogi, a sannyasi. In other words, you have to become a yogi after being a karma yogi. This is what Krishna means when he says, be a yogi, Arjuna. Yogi bhava Arjuna. Yogi here means one who is firmly established in the clear vision, samyak darshana nishtha, which means a sannyasi. Become that sannyasi, Arjuna. Krishna is saying, you need not give up your karma or anything. Running away is not going to help you in any way. You must work towards becoming that yogi who has the clear vision. Therefore, become that yogi. Why does Krishna compare this yogi to other yogis here? Once the word yogi is mentioned, all kinds of ideas come to mind. Therefore, which yogi should I become becomes the question. Because everyone wants to become the best person, the most exalted person, Shrestha Purusha, Krishna compares the yogi with the tapasvis, the panditas, and the karmis. Having said that the yogi is superior to all of them, he urged Arjuna to become that most exalted yogi. Krishna defines yoga here in the 6th chapter of the Gita as dukkha samyoga viyoga, dissociation from association with sorrow. The verse presently under study has to be understood in the context of this definition and in terms of everything Krishna has said previously. The sameness of vision, seeing oneself in all beings and all beings in oneself, is all part of what he has said. That the yogi discussed here is one who has this vision is made very clear in the next verse. Yogi namapi sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yuktatamo mataha. Yaha, the one who, shraddhavan, as shraddha, madgatena antaratmana, with a mind, antaratma, absorbed in me, mam bhajate, contemplates upon me, saha he, sarvesham yoginam, among all the yogis, api, even, yuktatamaha, the most exalted, me mataha, this is my vision. Yaha, shraddhavan, madgatena antaratmana, mam bhajate, sah sarvesham yoginam api yuktatamaha me mataha. The one who has shraddha, one with a mind absorbed in me, contemplates upon me, he is the most exalted among all yogis. This is my vision. I just wanted to share this, that just a thought that came, that when we, for the quiz, when we made the questions, it would be nice if we had given the context of the question, because otherwise, some of these, like what is the most important thing becoming a yogi, that becomes difficult. No? So in the context, we have to prepare the context and then ask the question. Then probably it will be better. Number one is received, and you could get proper answers also for that. Otherwise, the answers are multiple answers for one question. Krishna knows that there were many kinds of yogis, but he is not talking about any of them here. For yogis who meditate on various deities, there is a certain duality in that they take themselves to be different from that upon which they are meditating. Therefore, they retain their sense of karta, doership, and as doers, they do various types of yoga. Although these meditators are all laudable, they are not the yogi. Krishna is pointing out here the most exalted among yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham yuktatamaha. The yogi being discussed is the one who contemplates upon Krishna as the Ishvara, Yahamam bhajate, not on a particular deity. Such a person meditates on the one who is everything, the one who is the cause of the world, Jagat Karana, and who is not separate from the Jivatma. The mind of this yogi is totally absorbed in this Parameshwara. Therefore, Krishna says, Madgatena antaratmana mam bhajate. In effect, he was saying, I am he is I. It means that for this person, there is no separation between himself and Ishvara. For this reason, then, the person is considered to be the most exalted among yogis. So the yogi being discussed here is the one who contemplates upon Krishna as the Ishvara, Yaha Mam Bhajate, not on a particular deity. So Krishna also is not the flute playing Krishna, running and dancing around gopis. He is not the Krishna, but as Ishvara. Such a person meditates on the one who is everything, the one who is the cause of the world, Jagat Karana, and who is not separate from the Jivatma. The mind of this yogi is totally absorbed in this Parameshwara. Therefore, Krishna says, Madkatena antaratmana mam bhajate. In effect, he was saying, I am he and he is I. It means that for this person, there is no separation between himself and Ishvara. For this reason, then, the person is considered to be the most exalted among yogis. There are no two yogis here. Here, Krishna is not comparing the yogi with the yogi in the previous verse. He is simply describing that same yogi further. If this point is missed, as it is sometimes is, certain problems in understanding can arise. The yogi under discussion is the one who was said to be superior to those who meditate, superior to the scholars who know the Veda, and superior also to those who perform rituals. And why is this yogi superior? Because contemplating on the Parameshwara, the Para Atma alone, the mind of the person is completely resolved. Having gained this identity, the person is said to be accomplished in yoga. The previous verse actually completed this chapter on meditation, but Krishna wants to briefly restate exactly what yoga is. The identity between Parameshwara and the Jiva is yoga. And who gains this yoga? The one who has Shraddha. Shraddhavan gains this yoga. Shraddha is the attitude born out of the appreciation that the Shastra is the means for gaining the knowledge that is moksha. Such a person gains the knowledge by meditating on Parameshwara until the identity between the Jiva and Parameshwara, as revealed by the Shastra, is clear. Having gained this knowledge, the person is a yogi, the most exalted of human beings, there being no one superior to this yogi. With this verse, then, the 6th chapter comes to an end. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Dhyana Yogo Nama Shashtodhyayaha. In the Bhagavad Gita, which has the status of Upanishad, having the knowledge of Brahman and Karma Yoga as its subject matter, in the dialogue that took place between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, this is the 6th chapter entitled The Topic of Contemplation. Jai Gurudev. So we have about a minute. Maybe if any one of us wants to share, please go ahead. So Krishna is gently nudging Arjuna. He says, Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. And this yogi is not the yogi. That is, this yogi is superior to the tapasvi, the one who does all different kinds of meditation on different things, not on Ishvara. And the karmibhyaha, the one who knows the Veda, jnanibhyaha, the one who knows the Veda, the Purva Mimamsa part of the Vedas, as well as the Vedanta. He may just know the meanings, but he has no experience, he has no recognition yet. And karmibhyaha, the one who does a lot of rituals. So you become that yogi who is first, be a karma yogi first, and then with a mind that is prepared enough, that is prepared to receive the knowledge, then pursue knowledge. What clear directions Bhagwan is giving Arjuna. And he's just treating him like a little child, giving him all the possibilities, all the different things, because he can get caught up. He wanted to go to Rishikesh to meditate, dropping his duty as a Kshatriya. He said, no, you first, because I'm saying yogi is better, it does not mean you drop your weapons and move away from the battlefield. Stay, do your duty first. Do what is to be done. Jai Gurudev. I think we'll stop here. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.